I've built loads of cool structures and buildings in my hardcore world, but building a giant floating planet in the sky was without a doubt one of my favorites, and it made for a pretty cool time lapse. Let's grab some concrete, and this is the layer that I'm going to build the base of this planet. The reason I'm doing blue concrete is because that's going to be like the oceans, and I can build the land on top of that. I think doing it this way just makes a lot more sense, rather than doing it with a load of temporary blocks like dirt and then having to place blocks all over it above that. I think it would just be too much effort. So I think the way that I'm doing it right now is the most efficient. Building a big sphere isn't the easiest thing in the world. You just kind of have to do it ring by ring and then fill it in, as you can see. Because once you get the outside right, filling in the inside is pretty easy. This part that I'm doing now probably isn't the most interesting, but I'm going to bring it up layer by layer, which I reckon will make a great time lapse. And there we have it. This planet has got its first bit built. It's currently just a massive sphere in the sky, and at some point it'll be given lots of decoration. It's also now much darker down here with a planet above you. Looks pretty ominous up there, doesn't it? Now to get back to building the country of Skulk. And that is mission accomplished. Definitely looks like a pretty cool part of the planet. Pretty cool part of the planet that needs the scaffolding removing. And now to do the one of slime, which should be a pretty easy one to do it. Well, in theory, if I don't get my head stuck. This will be an amazing move if it works. Head hitter into place in the block. Beautiful. Then that goes there and we can continue. All of the slime is successfully down. So that is what that one looks like a bit of an egg, isn't it? And that is a giant Netherrack country created. Starting to look like a planet, isn't it? You know, ice below, countries on, you know, all that snow will need to go because it's just a stupid thing that shouldn't be there. I'm nearly out of time though. However, we've still got enough time to hopefully do the top. There is meant to be like a desert country. I don't know if I'll have time for. I might just go over time, see how I'm feeling. I also want to get rid of all this snow because it's just going to get in the way. And now I need to swoop down to the bottom to grab the last bits of my ice. Hopefully I've got enough. I should have enough. This top bit isn't going to have as much ice as the bottom bit did because there's going to be snow up here as well. The sun is setting, but that won't stop me because I'm going to finish this no matter what. And I am sick of you guys spawning. Even the annoying phantoms will not stop me from getting this finished, okay? I will stay up all night if I have to. Although I seem to have run out of packed ice, unfortunately. Could have sworn I'd brought enough, but evidently not. Thankfully, I can get more pretty quickly. Not from in here, although I think if I mine... Oh, well, that was a black spike, but I think if I mine loads up, I should get a full inventory's worth pretty quick, which will be enough. Come on, I've only got tonight to finish the planet, and then time is ticking. I ain't got time for mining ice. Operation Get a Full Inventory of Ice was successful. There's some glass there. There should be some ice coming round eventually. Why would I walk there? It's a lag spike. It's really weird. Anyway, I get plenty of packed ice from that. I think, yeah, more is sailing around. Snow? No, don't snow. Oh, that's going to be so annoying to build on top with. Screw it. I'm going to sleep. Yes, I know I'm doing the forbidden thing of going overtime, but it won't take me long to finish the top of this. Well, it won't take me long as I don't run out of ice again. There we go. The top is done. All frozen up, as you can see. Looking pretty good, I'd say. It's the snow kind of ruins the look of it. It just doesn't quite seem right, does it? One thing I would like to get added to the top is some trees. And that is 2 trees added, you know, just adds a bit of life to the top of the planet. And I know that I am way over on time, but I really just want to finish this planet. I just need to do a sandstone one, which won't take me too long. And you know what? We've gone over time, so we might as well go more over time. Probably the worst mindset I could have, but you know what? I don't care. It's an easy one where I'm just placing sandstone on top of stuff. I'm not having to use scaffolding, so that's why I feel like I can do it in time. There we go. As I said, it was pretty quick indeed. Looking good. That is the desert one. I'm not really sure what the orange terracotta is. It's just a bit of decoration. It looks more like an inverted cookie or something, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, as much as I like what I've created, I think it's very, very cool. All those snow layers are driving me crazy. They just look so annoying. So I say first things first, to get rid of all this scaffolding. Get rid of most of it. This bit's going to be a little bit crazy for scaffolding falling to the ground. But it's also very, very satisfying to watch it all disappear like that. I gather up some of it. I don't think I can be bothered or have time to go around and get every single piece that's dropped. And now I'm going to do something about that snow up there. It's really annoying me. So I'll grab loads and loads of string and cover this planet. There we go. All string has been placed down. Now to give you a bit of a view of what the planet looks like at night time, it does kind of look like it's in space. I think there are certain angles look better than other angles. All in all, I think it's a cool planet, you know, different countries, different styles. You know, I didn't want to just make them all green or something like planet Earth. I wanted to mix it up a bit. Look, I think the Skulk area looks pretty cool. I think from the top, if you look at that, You see the frozen thing on top with the trees. I like the way that looks. Maybe that's a little uniform as the ice, and the ice could be a little random like it is at the bottom. But yeah, I now have an entire planet above my world. And if I go to my house, it can be seen from a distance. It's an interesting looking thing. I quite like it. Let's have a look at it in day. Also very cool. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I built a planet in hardcore Minecraft. And that was also 3,000, not 3,000, 4,000. I've lost count. Said that many times that I keep forgetting now. But it's 4,204 days in hardcore Minecraft. Also, subscribe if you got this far, because you probably like my other videos. This next build is huge, and it has to be my most diverse and colourful structure ever. Yes, my ocean biomes build where I transformed a mineshaft took so long to build. It took so many hours to make. So if you do enjoy this next clip, please could you just consider subscribing? I'm getting so close to 500k. Started to terraform up the terrain. My first priority is just to terraform a bit of a floor. I think the biggest thing with terraforming is just to keep it nice and random. So as you can see, I'm just kind of going. It's starting to come together. I'm happy with what I've done for now. I mean, there is gaps everywhere and stuff. It still needs filling in, but I'll drop off all of this and first begin work on the nether section. I want it to be a mix of warped and crimson, and this is going to be the crimson section. And for this first bit, I'm just going to build a bit of a staircase upwards. So it goes up to the top of here, and then I kind of want it to wrap back around something like this. And at this point, I'm going to kind of make it go into two paths like this. I'm also going to decorate the walls of this bridge with various things such as copper, blackstone, grey concrete. I'm going to have a bit of a warped section here as well, just in and around, so that it kind of goes this way. It doesn't look like too much, but it is kind of getting there, I think. I could just do with some tuff since I completely forgot to bring it. And with that, I can start filling in the gaps and just kind of mixing in stone as well. It's actually really starting to take shape. It needs some warped parts to it because it's very red at the moment, which is maybe a problem. I also want to add more decorational lamps around the area just to keep it all nicely decorated, lit up. You know, we don't want it to be too plain at all, do we? And if I grab crimson trapdoors along with the fences, I can kind of make a bit of a... Oh, look at this. Brilliant. We can make a nice little border all the way around the outside. That is this built all the way up to the top. I can have a bit of warped nylium all the way up here. So that adds a little bit of blue contrast. Now to add concrete here, this is where kind of the pillars are going to come in. I'll also place down lava and have it pouring from the sky. Add a little bit more into here. Then these pools will all kind of flow into each other, with even more lava coming from the sky. That's all of the lava done. And I'll just finally add a bit of fire around the area for that extra bit of decoration. And the nether section is officially complete. Now that it's kind of pillared and everything, I think it looks great. I cannot wait to build the rest of them, but I can't make them that complicated, otherwise I will not finish the build. It is just way, yeah, I mean, it looks great, but I don't have time for that. So I want this section here to be a bit of a desert one. Trying to use as little resources as possible, but that does mean I've kind of got to place blocks every time I want to place a bit of sand. I've terraformed up this edge here, and I'm steadily adding sand to the top, but I'd also like to build a bit of a fossil up here to really give it that desert-like feel. I'm also kind of making each one the same, just so I can... Otherwise, I'll just make it too complicated. There we go. I think it works well. Yeah, it's like the ruins of a fossil. And with that decoration out of the way, I'll get back to what I'm good at, and that is just placing sand. The annoying part is having to place down all the cobblestone so you can put sand on top of it. And placing slabs is definitely an easier way, but I want it to be a gradual staircase, so I don't know. I don't think slabs can be all the way. I think this is a good blend, but it does also unfortunately mean that I go through cobblestone extremely fast. Maybe I should just take the whole shulker box up with me. And once I place down these few extra blocks, that's another ledge completed. I'd also like to fly down here, grab this shulker box, and add water into here just to make a nice little pool. And the idea is to also place some just in there so it just kind of flows down nicely. And I'm also going to do the exact same thing right here. Pretty sure when that goes down, yep, that's all lined up perfectly. And so now I've just got to continue adding cobblestone as I continue to add more sand. This is the final ledge I'm going to do. And once I place down all of the sand, it's mission accomplished. Or at least it will be once I've finished filling this gap in the wall. Let's see how it looks from a distance. I tell you what, it is starting to come together. And because it wasn't quite as complicated, that one, I did build it way faster. I'm keeping things simple again. I'm going to do a one that's just like a grassy one with water flowing like waterfalls. I think it'll look really good. But I didn't really bring very much dirt and grass, so I'm going to go home and get some. All of that in there should be perfect. So I'll get busy building this. The general structure is starting to get there. And I thought my days with sand were over. But I would like a little water pool with a stream. And it will just look a lot better if the bottom of it is sand rather than dirt, since it'll just make a nicer nicer contrast. And water's not an issue. We've got loads of, look, a little bit of extra sand in there too. So I'll completely fill all of this up. Yes, it's looking pretty good. I will decorate it with grass and flowers and stuff later. But from a top view, yeah, it is, look at it. It's really just coming to life, the entire thing. This is yet another area that is going to be a pool of water. So, of course, it needs sand. I'm also going to have even more sand in a pool all the way up here. And the water can drop down like this to make yet another waterfall. And then this bit needs to be completely filled in with water. I think I'm happy with that. I haven't slept in so long that just phantoms are non-stop spawning if I go like above white level 60. I'm not going to finish decorating this one because time is of the essence and I want to get as much of this build done as possible. I don't know if I'll quite get everything done, but I'm going to go for it. I think my biggest mistake was just spending way too much time on this first one. This next section is going to be a snow one, which is why ice is going to be very useful. I'll also need lots of snow, but you didn't see that one coming, and some layers will be useful. Next I need diorite, calcite, plus some clay. I will also be using quite a few different spruce items, but I can easily just craft them on the go. As usual, I'm going to focus on all the terrain first, and all the decorations can be done at the end. I know it'll look good at the end of it, but placing all of these snow layers is just so much effort. All the snow that I want down is pretty close to being done. And in here, I'm going to build a bit of a secret cave. We won't know who lives in this cave, but there's going to be a little bed down here. I want a campfire as well. That can go there with moss carpet around it. And finally, a chest and a furnace. And this will be the little cave. I just need to terraform the top of it and it'll look good, I hope. I suppose we'll find out shortly. Just a few more stairs around. I'll put a few, maybe one upside down. And I think it's come together nicely as this cave. Cool little secret for the build. I do also want like a cabin here made of spruce and stuff. I've kind of started to mark it out. But I've got to crack on, all right? I've got to just get as many of these done as I can. So I'll add my cabin later. But from the top, this is really starting to look like a proper build. Just look at it. It'll be amazing when it's finished. Hopefully that's today, but I wouldn't hold your breath. It's just about everything that I'm going to need. And this time, I'm going to be doing a Mesa biome. As far as all these biomes go, this is definitely going to be one of the simpler ones. It's also going to have like a mineshaft track connecting up to that side. Because whilst all these biomes are looking pretty cool, I can't forget that the whole idea of this was to transform a mineshaft. By the way, there was a mineshaft here when I was digging out. I've kind of dug a lot of it out. There is still remnants of it kind of somewhere under there. So I would still say that I am transforming a mineshaft. You just can't really see it anymore. I finally made it to the top with all this Mesa terrain. Just a few final bits of sand to add here and there. There we go. Do also want to terraform the top of this by first adding a layer of stone. Now I just need to add sand on top. I could do with more of these smooth redstone slabs. I thought I brought more, but apparently nowhere has any. Just the red sandstone over here. Which means a quick flight back home to smelt these and get more slabs. I'm getting a little bit overrun with shulker boxes, but whilst I'm here, I'd like to grab a load of mycelium, since it will be useful for the next biome. Although I better concentrate on finishing this one first before I think about what's going over there. Also do with a few oak planks, stripped logs. I seem to have used all my fencing up there, so I'll craft a few more, and then just build a bit of a boardwalk thing along here. With a few stairs on it as well, just to kind of mix it up a bit. You don't want it all to be exactly the same, do you? And to conserve materials, instead of placing wood in these gaps, I'm going to place stone, because you're not going to be able to see it underneath the sand. And that includes this little section as well. All nicely covered with sand, and slabs on top with more sand behind. This is the last biome that I'm going to use any sand. I'm absolutely sick of having to place stone underneath. I don't know what's been worse, doing the sand or doing all those snow layers on that one. It just takes forever, but I mean, it's worth it to conserve the materials rather than building the sand from the ground up. I've also now apparently run out of terracotta, which is annoying because I'm not really that far off finishing it, but it gives me no choice but to fly far, far away. In fact, before I do that, it's probably a good idea to drop off some of these materials. Then I'll have plenty of space in the inventory to get some terracotta. I also don't want it to take forever for me to collect what I need, so I'll build a quick beacon to speed everything up. I don't know why I never did this sooner. This should definitely be enough. I'll leave this beacon here because I reckon I will be coming back at some point, and it'll just be a handy thing to have. I've also apparently left my flint and steel somewhere back at that build, so I'm going to have to get a bit of flint, which you get 100% of the time with Fortune 3. Then I can light the portal, no problem. Of course, I'm in an awkward position where I have to dig my way out. And I've also run out of firework rockets. Yeah, things just keep getting worse. Although if I grab this looting sword and take out a ghast, I can use paper in my inner chest, sadly no gunpowder, I'm not very prepared, and make 3 precious firework rockets. It should be enough to get me back, because look where we are. The nether perimeter of all places. I had absolutely no idea. That definitely makes life easier because I have this massive tunnel that goes all the way back. Even if it does mean doing the last few bits on foot. From there, I can top up my gunpowder and make more rockets. Let's hope that that doesn't ever happen again. And after that escapade, I can get back to building the rest of this biome. That's another tower completed. There we go. The terrain part is done, but this is a mineshaft. You won't believe it because you can't see it, but I think it's time we added some of that part. At least it will be once I've added a few few fences to this bit down here, just so it feels a bit more like a boardwalk. From there, I've got to track down my spruce chest. There's at least some in here. Can't remember where I put the rest of it. I gave up. I've completely lost it. So I'll just strip and mine all of these, build as much as I can of some pillars, fly back home, grow more, and mine it all up. That should be plenty. Exactly 10 stacks. It's a very good amount. And now the building can resume. It's a bit of a painful plan, but I'm going to have campfires that go all the way along to the other side. And then there'll be more here as well, although you're facing the wrong way. All I know is I'm probably going to end up taking a lot of damage. Operation get to the other side is complete. And every 3 blocks there's going to be mud brick slabs in between. From there I'm going to add a few more pillars. And I want them to be stairs supporting underneath as well. And what do you think? These are going to be added all over it to really give it that mineshaft feel. And I think I'll add a few like broken tracks this way, since it's kind of meant to be an abandoned mineshaft. Looking good. And then I can have it move into a second proper track that's going to go all the way over here. I think I'll have this one stop here. Whether I extend it more, I don't know, but it could just be cool that it just kind of stops. Then I can have another one, I'm thinking, underneath it. So I've built these 2 pillars next to each other, and it could be coming out of the mushroom biome. I don't know how far across, but you just got, I don't know. I think I need to build this next one, though, so that I can know for sure. I also know I have more mushroom in another shulker box. I just can't remember which one. That's literally been the story of my life today, searching through shulker boxes. Now I can get busy placing everything down. And now that I'm not placing sand, it's just so much easier because I don't have to worry about gravity. The terrain terraforming's slowly getting there, but for the mushrooms as well, I kind of want to use this white terracotta as the stem and put red mushroom on top. I think it looks pretty good, which means I'm going to try and build another one over here. And yeah, I'd say I'm fairly happy with that one as well. Now I can continue with the terraforming. I've almost terraformed it all the way up to the top. There we go. I'll fly away because some stupid phantoms have spawned. Basically, the moment I go above sea level, they're after me. But hey, if you want a quick preview of how it's looking, it is actually starting to look insane. There's just one biome left to go, but before I move on, I wouldn't mind adding a few more mushrooms around. It has to be said, it's looking brilliant. Look at that. All it's missing is that I swoop down here and grab water. Once I've plugged up these gaps here, I can start filling it in. Fantastic. Plus I can have a nice little water feature up here, just to really bring it to life. So that is mushroom biome done, but I would of course like to add a little minecart track coming out of here, with slabs in between and stairs underneath. Alright, final biome. What's it gonna be? Well, I've decided to mix it up a little bit and not go for an outside biome, but instead an underground one. Yes, this is where all the mossy items are going to come in handy, because it's going to be themed around a lush cave. As you would expect, down here it's going to be primarily moss blocks, but right around here I also want to make a massive mangrove tree that's kind of, you know, a mix of planks and a mix of the logs, just to give the section a little bit of character. It's definitely kind of starting to take shape. I'm just going to put some grass blocks here. Because this is part of the nether section, I'm going to fill it in with coal ore. And these are like 3 big roots that are all going to connect to one tree, and I think the tree can be made more of spruce than just mangrove, since I have still got plenty of spruce available. And if I build a bit of a pillar next to this tree, I can have a track going out of it and along there. I've got my plan. I've just got to get this tree finished and all around it, basically. So this is where it's kind of got to. I don't know if it fully works, really. Now look at it. It's kind of just the way that these roots, I've got them going into the terrain is the thing I settled on in the end. And from here I can just keep terraforming up with things like moss and dirt, you know, just kind of keep it. I think just random is the secret with terrain. And that's the top pretty much done. Just need to fill in this, add decorations, and finally grab some water to fill up these pools. Sorted for this layer. Now to do the same in this one. And finally this one down here. And I think that pretty much leaves it done. It's got most of the decorations I want. Gotta hurry up and wrap things up, you know. I've got over quite a bit. But I wouldn't mind if I could just have a few glowberries like hanging around all up there. Just as a bit of extra decoration, you know, just to bring it to life a little bit. Make it feel like it's the top of a lush cave. They'll take a while to grow, but once they do, I'm sure it'll be great. And the absolute final thing I want to do before my editor kills me for going so far over time is just make one last track going across this way. Track's done, now I'm just doing the slabs, which I apparently didn't bring enough of. Come on, SB, basics. And then there also needs to be pillars to support it, and stairs underneath. And I'm also doing one more track along here because I feel like the desert needs to be connected. Alright, and you know what? I think we leave it there. Look at it. It's crazy. I do still want to build a bit of a cabin there, finish decorating that bit. But as a general top-down view, oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Look at it. And the mine shaft just coming right through the middle. This is absolutely insane. I don't think you can really tell that it needs decorating anyway. I mean, I guess the top of that needs more than the top of that one, but yeah, it looks good. If I do say so myself. I'm sure you'll agree that getting every single mob is quite a challenging task. So once I succeeded, I had to go one step further and make this room look even better. But Doing that took quite a few carpets. Yes, lots and lots of carpets. The next thing I must do is going to be very, very satisfying. I want a shulker box of every single colour and then fill them all with wool. This is very, very satisfying. From there, I'll line them up, craft carpets, and decorate all the other sides like this square is. And I have finished it. I think it looks pretty cool.